The Leafeon, a speedster Pokemon he is known for. Quick burst damage, and if it gets started early, which it often does, it can really take over a game.
Grabbing Snorlax, Garchomp early, really setting the tone here. Snorlax, a phenomenal defender, has been all weekend, and Garchomp, I think, is right where it should be. Finally getting the love it deserves because that is an incredibly strong top path Pokemon.
I want to talk a little bit about Kyrios' selection here. Armarouge, a Pokemon that I think everyone was sleeping on throughout a majority of this season. All of a sudden, when the speedsters weren't as powerful as they were a few patches ago, we noticed that this thing is incredibly tanky for an attacker. And that pop-off that you heard from Doomsex is because on the other side, Revelation is grabbing the Zoroark Comfey combo. Talk to me about it.
I mean, it's literally just a hyper carry maneuver.
Charizard too.
So, okay, a lot of stuff to dissect here.
Yeah.
So Zoroark Comfey, of course, is essentially like jumping out of a plane with a parachute, just all about energy, adrenaline, and action. On the other side, though, you have an isolating Pokemon in Charizard, which isn't played too often, but its Unite move literally scoops up a player from the other team, suplexes them back to Earth, and you take to the skies to burninate the countryside like Trogdor. What I'm looking at here, they chose Charizard in response to that because as soon as Celestial's going to commit to an engage, Overlord's going to step up, hit that Unite move, isolate the Zoroark, and they're going to collapse and try to get that KO. Because when you're carrying the Comfey, that's a BOGO deal. That's a 2-for-1.
That's right. You take a look at Charizard right here. It is running that Curse Bangle. So the idea behind it not only would be to isolate a Pokemon like Zoroark that has the Comfey on it, again, 2-for-1 in that moment, but also reduce the healing that Comfey is able to put out on Zoroark, looking to counter it in a big way. We're going to see if it works. Charizard, not a common meta pick in Pokemon Unite right now. Overlord, one of the best to ever play the game, so you got to trust him.
Yeah, absolutely. The pick rate is 2%, and I'm pretty sure that 2% is generated strictly by Overlord specifically because of these situations. But it shows that Luminosity Gaming is thinking of unique strategies, way to combat popular things. Zoroark Comfey is something we've seen before, despite the fact that Charizard is not.
Here we go. We are getting ready for our brawl here on Thea Sky Ruins as our players are loading in our first game here of our Grand Finals at NAIC as you are taking a look at the battlefield right now. Luminosity Gaming, your purple team. Revelation, your orange team. These are your best of 5 Grand Finals.
Going straight into the bottom path is Kyrios, the bot path attacker here with Slash Can. Mr. Mime, again, another Pokemon that isn't played too much, especially this event with a pick rate at 8%. We'll see how it can battle against Snorlax, something that's been picked almost every single game we've watched.
Nice secure there by the side of Luminosity. Whoever gets the last hit on these wild Pokemon get all of the Eos energy and all of the experience for their side, so you want to try to take that away from your opponents. Overlord being chased out by the Gibble right there as they are looking to get Otter away from some of these wild Pokemon as well.
Otter going to peel back towards Overlord, and Lunier doing a great job bullying in the 1v2 because Gibble can do that. Despite it being a Stage 2 Pokemon evolution, it actually holds down the fort very well early game.
Now we saw Zoroark actually appear in the top path for a moment here, but it looks like they're running through the center, possibly looking to catch Leafeon if they move through this central area here. Now we have a fight that's about to break out in the top and bottom path over these Altaria and Swablu that spawn here in just a few moments. Leafeon moving up for Luminosity, and we have Zoroark for Revelation.
Oh, and they sussed out exactly where they are, going straight for the engage. Slow Smoke is down. They're trying to pin some of the players of LG so they can get a knockout. Overlord pivoting up top, and they're easy KO there for the Zoroark, and honestly, Revelation getting the better of that exchange.
Beautiful K opener for Revelation, really taking it to Luminosity right there, but something you have to recognize is when Zoroark has that Comfey collar, it's like you're fighting 2 Pokemon, and when players play Zoroark at this level, it's like they're fighting 3 I mean, this Pokemon is unbelievable in the hands of a skilled player.
It really is, and you can see the commitment that Revelation has to getting Celestial online on that Zoroark, going back into that central area, picking up more and more farm. Now, everybody's squaring up here because at 8 minutes, we're going to get another crop of Swablu and Altaria, and that represents a lot of early game experience for these teams.
But take a look at Revelation right here, looking to possibly cut off members of Luminosity heading from the top path right here. Heading down towards this fight, Pikadiff jumps in looking for a KO. Kyrios goes down.
Now we're going straight. Another Slow Smoke use. Celestial is trying to get a target. Heavy slam by Pikadiff on the eject button. Trainer is able to pick up the KO, and now they're going to score. Counter scores are happening up top, so it's 35-30. Slow slowly changing now, but this game is very close.
Extremely close here. Celestial is trying to punish them for that, but with 3 members of Luminosity Gaming, they're able to peel away from this. 77-30 right there. We had Revelation take the opportunity to score in the top path. Beautiful confusion right into that barrier there. And Luminosity Gaming deciding to score in the bottom path, continuing to keep the pressure on now. 115-30. Luminosity now has Charizard online.
Very quick Charizard slash on the 1v3, and really Revelation is just trying to get points in now, gaining value where they have the player advantage. On the upside though, Luminosity did just get their Charizard online, which is a critical moment for them. Curios taking the long way around, about to join maybe the fray in the bottom path, as Slash Can's incredibly low on HP. Celestial on the chase here, goes straight for it, and how is Slash still standing?
Impressive stuff from one of the best defender players in the entire game. Moving down here towards Regirock. Revelation ready to secure it. Slash gonna try to stop them right there. Beautiful secure by Celestial.
Closer than it should have been there, given the circumstances. Now, here we go. Immediately Charizard Unite on Pikadiff, flipping and trying to burn down the rest of the squad. Moving forward are all of Luminosity Gaming. The Gabite goes down. Curios is looking, and a big Aura Cannon there out of them. Big Mega Man-like energy on that pot shot. Forces out the Flowery Fields forever. Now the chase continues. Celestial uses their Unite move. They're looking for Overlord. They want to get to the back line. Another round of Slow Smoke is down, and Celestial finally has to bail.
And here comes Trainer hiding in the tall grass right here, possibly looking for the opportunity to move in on Celestial, and they are moving in, looking for the KO right here.
Ooh.
Leafeon with the Razor Leaf trying to get to them. They do big time Unite move, and they pick up 2.
That is a huge sequence of knockouts there for Luminosity Gaming. Zora, Comfy, and Mewtwo all go down, immediately going to pad number 2. Pikadiff is there, sussed out the situation, but there's no more points in pocket as Trainer quickly goes for the retreat.
There we go, 223, 92. If you take a look at our levels here, Dupes next. Leafeon already level 11. We talked about this speedster getting online early and staying powerful. This is exactly where you want it to be. A speedster with a level advantage is extremely difficult to deal with. On the other side of the map here, the highest level, level 10 on Zoroark, level 10 on Garchomp. Not where you want to be for Revelation. Behind on the scoreboard, behind on levels.
Yeah, we see the Garchomp looking to move. Celestial's there, knows exactly where Curios is, forces out the Fire Spin. They're going to have to retreat. Big Mewtwo Y Unite, and that forces out Mr. Mime's Showtime. Bliss Assistant's going to help save Curios at least for another moment. They're pivoting back to Lumiere. Dragon Rush is there. They're trying to Dragon Claw combo. No, they go down. We're going right back upstairs. Oblivion does take care of 1, but now they're going to pay for it. KO Streak of 2 for Trainer.
Wow, and the only one left standing is the Snorlax being chased down by multiple members of Luminosity Gaming right here. Charizard seeing if they can keep up with them with that flamethrower there that gives Charizard that nice speed boost so it can continue burning the Snorlax. Pikadiff actually, never mind, might make it out.
Nope.
Nope.
Not at all. But you saw how clever the use of the Mr. Mime wall was, because once the block goes up, Snorlax can only move backwards, but it's locked into its position it faces. Putting the wall behind it prevented Pikadiff from being able to escape, which set up that knockout.
Easy Regirock here for the side of Luminosity Gaming. Gonna give them that nice defense and special defense buff here, which is gonna help them in their next fights. And a fight is going to be breaking out very soon here on the top path. Curious at this tier 1 goal zone, but it looks like Revelation's going for Regieleki right away.
Curious does have their Unite move, puts right on top, hits 2 targets, and Mr. Mime secure, and that spells disaster. 3 players down, make it 4, and the only reason Pikadiff isn't biting a dust too is because they're sitting on a different spot in the map.
Yeah, this is just very tough for Revelation here. Luminosity, will they break the goal zone before Reggie even gets there? Almost so close, but that tier 2 goal zone is gone. The tier 1 goal zones are up. Both top and bottom for Luminosity Gaming. 362 to 92, and we still have a minute and a half before Rayquaza. Rayquaza that Revelation will desperately need to secure and win a fight at this point.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu here, Spraggles. I mean, Luminosity in the grand finals, this seems like it's almost written in stone, immediately forcing out more Unites. Flowery Fields forever, pinned against the wall with the Mr. Mime Confusion Barrier combo. They go down, Dispenza bites the dust. Now Mewtwo trying to get into the mix, but it's going to be a fruitless endeavor because all of Revelation has to retreat.
Well, I mean, Revelation right now really has one shot, one opportunity to seize everything they ever wanted, which is Rayquaza. And the question is, will they capture it or let it slip? What they need to do right now is stay on their side of the map, get as much experience as possible, and make a miracle play at Ray, taking down one of the big Pokemon on the side of Luminosity. I see Leafeon at level 15. If they can catch it somehow, that KO timer will be massive. They might have the ability to win this thing.
Right now, more experience going to the hands of LG. Revelation just trying to take something. 30 seconds till Ray, and this is a pretty interesting fight if Revelation tries to stick in the pocket here. Maybe trying to get one critical catch to get more experience. Overlord split from the rest of the squad. Forced out the power nap. This might become our fight here. We're going for it. A big time engage on Overlord. They know he's separated from the team. He's still standing. 10 seconds till Ray. We've got a lot of recalls, and Overlord is going to make it out after expending their own Unite move to save themselves.
There's the Bliss assistant Slash coming in right now with the Showtime, looking to end this fight. Luminosity in a lot of trouble, and Garchomp goes down.
Celestial's there, chased by a Trainer. Trainer's going to be there and going for more action. Trainer goes right back on top. Dispensa's down. Zoroark's down. Here comes the rest of LG. Overlord, after the reset, sees the space and time they want. Slashkin's going to have to bubble everybody out. Oblivion steps in. They're looking up a side shock. Bang! Mr. Mime again! Luminosity Gaming with the easy secure, and they're marching their way to a big Game 1 win.
Massive, massive game here for LG. I mean, we talked about it. Can anyone beat this team? What a decisive victory here. With 1 minute and 30 seconds left, there's just, it's crazy to say, but not even enough time for Revelation. They would need to KO every single member of Luminosity and score full-pocketed goals here of 50 Eos energy each to come back in this game somehow. And Luminosity feels like they're in a perfect position here. They get to run right by, pick up some KOs. I mean, they don't even need to score here, Doom Snacks.
I mean, come on. Trainer knows what the gambit is. He knows what their out is, and immediately, with one press of a button, that beautiful Emerald 2-step sorts out 2 players instantly for Revelation, and that effectively puts the final nail in the coffin of Revelation for Game 1.
That's right. If Trainer knows the gambit, I mean, he is making a name for himself out here as one of the best central area players in the game. We talked about this a bit yesterday. I think Trainer is the kind of player who would play that Zoroark without a Comfey, Leafeon the same way, and look at him, level 15, just staring in the face of Revelation. And at this point, you have to wonder if Revelation can bounce back after such a difficult Game 1. Many teams cannot.
They're going to have to, because if your alarm clock didn't wake you up, Revelation, LG certainly did. Holy smokes, that is a heck of a way to make a statement for LG and putting Revelation back in their place.
I mean, you might have said it woke him up, but they might have put him to sleep here in game number 1. Such an impressive victory.
Now quick, because they're running out of time.
Look, I don't think there's a scarier squad to run into in the Grand Finals than LG. They play so incredibly well. They make very few mistakes, and as we saw there in game number 1, they can deliver an absolute dominant performance. Ban right away on the side of Revelation. They're making sure that Leafeon is not coming back into this match on the side of Luminosity. Inteleon banned away.
I understand completely. Blissey also going to earn a ban here. A huge ban rate on that support Pokemon. It's incredibly strong.
And we have Suicune for the final ban. This is a Pokemon that I really don't think should be making it through any draft, if I'm being honest.
Agreed.
I think Suicune is unbelievably busted right now in Unite. Just the slows, the stuns, the freezes from this Pokemon is incredible. First pick onto the side of Revelation. They were looking for it here, and they were able to grab Blaziken. Looked at as maybe the best all-rounder in the game that isn't Suicune right now. The combos are incredible, and if this Pokemon can get online, it can take over games.
Great picks. Duck, Hoopa back the other way, which means every other pick LG is going to have is going to be high octane. However, you are giving Pikadiff Snorlax, very predictable. It's a great tank Pokemon. Pikadiff specifically incredibly strong on it. Oblivion yanking the Armarouge out of the hands of Curios, something that Curios has been playing a lot over the last 2 days, and obviously last game was no exception.
You know, this is what you start to see happen in a high-level match of Unite. As you're going back and forth through these drafts, you're starting to take things away from the enemy team that you know they desperately want, right? You're very aware of how that Curios has been crushing it on the Armarouge here. So you're going to steal that away from them in draft. On this other side here, Curios on the Talonflame. I don't know if that's going to be switched for Trainer. I feel like I've not seen Curios play much Talon.
Doesn't matter. It can flex between the two, and now they're just giving Trainer the opportunity. If he sees something he likes on the other side, he can make the call and they can swap, or he can pick up the Talonflame and nab something for Curios. And to me, I feel like that Decidueye is going to go into the hands of Curios. We're going to swap that up. Again, Decidueye playing at long range, and Teleon does as well. But the difference between the two, Teleon has a bit more range, but that Spirit Shackle from Decidueye goes through targets, whereas the Snipe Shot from Inteleon eats the, just eats up the first thing it hits.
Yeah, I mean, we actually saw Decidueye kind of make its return to the scene. It feels like during regionals, EU was playing a ton of this Pokemon here, and now we're actually seeing it, out here in NA. Feels like a strong pick here. One thing that you have to recognize, it outranges everything on the side of Revelation in a massive way, and Revelation doesn't have the best dive on their side either. They kind of want to fight at this close range, brawling, but they're not that interested in diving into the back line. Of course, you have Buzzwole Unite. You have some options there, but it really doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get to Decidueye.
No swap. Trainer is taking Decidueye.
Yeah.
So rare do we see Trainer fighting from range. Razor Leaf Decidueye?
I do not.
There's no way.
I don't think we're seeing Razor Leaf Decidueye here as we head back to Thea Sky Ruins for this battle. Obviously, as you take a look at the map here, you see all the tall grass that these Pokemon can hide in. I don't think LG's doing much hiding, though, as they are keeping the pressure on their opponents as we're getting ready for game number 2. Revelation, your purple team, Luminosity Gaming, your orange team, best of 5 grand finals, LG up 1 game.
Now, Revelation has to rally quickly here. Obviously, in terms of range, Luminosity has it covered, but they can at least close the gap on Decidueye if they level up early and put the screws to Trainer.
Yeah, and here we are in the top path, seeing what we can do. Overlord actually possibly walking right by. They're trying to get a secure here, moving in on Dispenza and Lunier, trying to get a KO right away as we head down to the bottom path immediately to see Curios having to peel back on Talon.
Yeah, good pressure put on by LG and good counter pressure in the bottom path by Oblivion and Pikatif.
Yeah, and now we see them looking for some of this experience here. It's so vital early on if you can steal away some of that. Nice secure there from Luminosity, able to get Overlord level 4. Steenie now, but they really get online when they become Zarina at level 6.
We have that Dark Trick showing up. Of course, that is Trainer going to be sitting there waiting and hanging out to see what the rest of the Revelation team does. We've got a couple pings here as the Torchic is running away from path, and I think they've lost sight of it here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to leave Eldegoss just in the top path here as a little Gossifleur. They're going to give a lot of this over to the side of Luminosity Gaming. No, some of it's secured there by Dispenza.
Well done.
Impressive stuff into 3.
I mean, Dispenza's been having just a great tournament to begin with. Nice split scores here. Of course, on the bottom side, it's a big overload. You can't just take everything, so Slash is just playing safe, trying to A-press and prevent as many scores as possible. But Overlord has evolved. Dartrix going back to the center. We've got a little bit of a Fletchender cover here as Curios is having a tough time evolving.
Yeah, Curios having a tough time, but Overlord having a great time here in the top path. Now that they are Serena, they can brawl. They're playing the triple Axel build, which will just let them continue to spin that kick through the opposing team, giving themselves some amazing recovery as well with their Queenly Majesty. Big time KO in the top path, and they're going to continue putting the pressure on here.
I mean, great job by Otter there again with the Surf, pinning them against the wall, creating space, using the Headache well. Now, here comes Celestial, trying to poach Overlord. Looks like they cleansed through it, and now they're into the back line, and they're going to keep the pressure on. Pikatif is making Trainer scramble. Trainer's in a lot of trouble. No way. Heavy Slam misses. They can't quite get them. The pressure continues. Otter does go down, but we're going to keep this thing going. We're finally playing Portals. Dupe Snacks loves it.
Here we go. Talon having to run away from this fight, not yet level 7. A good engagement from both of these teams. You can see Celestial on this Buzzwole trying to take down multiple members of LG. We had Zarina dive too deep, and they were taken down as we have a fight breaking out here right now.
Oh, man, that's a lot of players for Revelation. Taking to the skies is Curios. Crash landing after that fly on top of the other team. Otter's low on HP. Pikatif with a nice heavy slam in the back. Celestial just punching up Overlord, getting some spacing, has to grab some berries, and Overlord now back over half HP with a nice shield. They're pivoting to Regirock.
I gotta say, the psychic play there from Psyduck, able to reposition that Blaziken early in the fight was impressive. Looking for the Regirock right here. No, not able to get it. There is that Spirit Shackle from Trainer. Beautiful secure.
well done by Luminosity Gaming. Good pressure by Celestial, at least getting a knockout there in that exchange, so not leaving with nothing. And of course, in response, Revelation able to take Regieleki, and we see the knock-knock arrow in tandem with Overlord, gets another knockout, and they're going to be able to rip Regieleki right where it spawned here. Dispenza going to step up, he's hiding in the bushes, big overheat, does hit Overlord, he walks into that one, portal is down, is Overlord going to make it? No. Now they're below half HP, but nobody can follow up.
Yeah, they cannot chase in on that fight because they know they are just going to be peppered with those arrows from Trainer. Decidueye able to play at some pretty incredible range, and I really do think if you look at Revelation's comp, it's going to be very difficult to get back there and stop them, so they are going to be putting out a ton of damage. Otter in a little bit of trouble right here, being blocked into the wall. Curios just watching from the tall grass, deciding whether or not they want to fight here, flying up into the air and peeling back.
Now we're sitting on pad. We've got 3 players just hanging out. Spirit Shackles is going to be able to help close that distance, especially with the range they're putting on. It would, of course, get some of that action, too. Luminosity is playing incredibly well.
Yeah, Luminosity is doing very well here, but Revelation way more in this game than game number 1. 57-114 right now. A little bit of a fight possibly breaking air. Look at, once again, that Psychic onto the Blaze again. They're moving in for the fight. Talonflame up into the air, going for Celestial, and Celestial goes down.
Great surf to pin them against the wall. Picadiff block is going to try and space Otter out from the rest of the team, allowing Armarouge to get on top of Trainer. 3 players down. They need to get a quality KO. They do. Trainer does go down. That's at least something. Get some of that experience back. Picadiff is going to have to defend this goal zone. They're going to do their best in the face of 3. Nice block, and Overlord just immediately Grassy glides back in. Here comes Dispenza for the support, filling in their role well. Celestial picks up, puts down, slash can, poached, and KO'd.
And here we have 7 seconds until this bottom Reggie hits the map here with multiple members of Revelation. They are ready to fight. We don't have the Hoopa down here to bring the team down with their Unite move. The knock-knock arrow is out, and Registeel's being ripped apart by Revelation.
Yeah, we'll see if LG even wants to make a play for it. Maybe just looking for knockouts. Go for that Prayer Spirit Shackle, but in the face of 5, it's difficult. We're sitting on pad, and late to the game is Curios. Rings Unbound's going to pull them through. Right into the back line is Celestial, and they're putting an absolute blender with another series of good surfs. And that actually seemed to be the only thing that Revelation wanted to do. Let's send in Celestial, buy some time, and everybody else leave.
And you can see Curios here actually spending some time in the central area of Revelation, trying to take away this Excelgor buff right here. Getting blocked into the wall, but able to get it still. Talonflame, incredibly mobile, really difficult to deal with. Otter, once again, just pestering them with that Psyduck Psychic. Maybe the most annoying Pokemon to play against in the entire game. Psyduck is unbelievably good and so frustrating for the opposing team.
Absolutely, I love Psyduck. Fly to help secure. It was pretty much in the bag anyways, but we'll just speed up the clock. And I believe, did they secure that before the 4-minute mark? Because that might be a difference maker. Probably too close. Here we go, the fight rages on. Fly in, Celestial's low. Overlord uses their Unite move on them. Single isolation target down. Right into the back line, Overlord continues. They finally get knocked out. I believe that was an overheat. Heavy slam coverage by Picadiff, not good enough. Portal's going to reset Curios so they can come back through. Yes, knock arrow is out. They're going to get that back in time. Picadiff is low, can't quite get a knockout. Lunier's going to get crash landed on with a fly. Multiple targets hit. Regieleki hits. Luminosity Gaming is hitting every single vibe they can.
Wow, beautiful play there from Curios on the Talonflame. Crashes down, gets a multi-KO, and then scores in that goal zone that was left defenseless from that Regieleki. Beautiful stuff there. 57-95 with a minute until Rayquaza. Now, Dube's next. Obviously, Rayquaza can change a lot in a match, but when you're already down by hundreds of points, even if you get it, the opposing team has a lot of opportunities to stay in the match and win.
I'm flabbergasted. Revelation needs to find and figure something out right now. This Regirock's the next target here, and we're going straight for the body, son. The fly into the back line. Overlord's dealt with quickly, but the Rings Unbound Hoopa is laying some good stuns. The exchange is a 2-for-1. Now we're trying to stun down Oblivion. They're going to retreat, and now this Regirock becomes easy money for LG.
Beautiful stuff from LG, and the Spirit Shackles from Trainer have been on point, catching 2 in that fight in a massive way. The longer range Decidueye is at, the more damage it will actually do with that Spirit Shackle. So it being able to stay out of these engagements is perfect for it right here. Just trying to see who they can find with their Shadow Sneak. And we have Curios hopping in, landing on him with Fly, getting a lot of information for LG. They get to decide how they want this to go.
Nice little move there by Oblivion. We're taking to the skies. Lumiere sussed out and the pressure's on. Power Nap on top of the team. The portal is down. Knock, knock, arrows out. Celestial's going straight towards Otter. Otter gets KO'd. Now Trainer's in trouble.
Whoa,
They're down. Three players down. And Revelation is obviously looking to flip the script. Overlord is standing tall by themselves, but they're in the face of 4. On the timer is Armor Rouge. Overlord is there going straight in. They want the bodies. Flame sweep into the middle here as they're going to keep the pressure on. Fly is too early. And now it's off cooldown. It's secured by Revelation. Secured by Revelation. They are down by 240 points. They need a lot of scores here, but they've got a lot of shields.
That's right. We are in double time right now, so these 50 points are hundo burgers, everyone. 357, 295. They are up as members of LG are now scrambling, trying to figure out what they can do. Shield still on the side of Revelation. What a beautiful fight. With 3 down, they went for it. Even with Talonflame there, they baited it out. Talon with the fly too early, and Revelation able to secure. But with a minute left, LG is looking to fight.
Yeah, they're down by 60 points, and they've got an opportunity here. They need to take some knockouts first. Bang, there goes Celestial. Now they're putting the pressure on, but we've got a hundo going back on the backside. Now it makes the mission a lot tougher for LG. They're backing here. We still have shields. We got to put the pressure on. Pinned against the wall by Pikadiff is Curios. Heavy slam there. Portal is down. Power Nap right on top of it, and perfectly timed fly by Curios to reset.
Yeah, here we go. 457, 295 at this point. They have to make 2 huge scores here. We have the Eldegoss in the air. Talon trying to make a play, landing into an overheat and getting absolutely destroyed.
Overlord in the back line. There's not enough players still standing. This defense is going to stand tall. KO Streak of 2 for the Blaziken as they keep on pushing. And Revelation steps back into this one and takes a win.
Well, we were wondering when Revelation was going to wake up. Here they are tying it up in our grand finals.
Well, the prediction was 3-1, and we are one step closer for that to materialize. However, we know just the window they needed, and they've been doing this all weekend, right? Get a couple knockouts, send Pikadiff and Dispenza to create space, secure. In this case, it was get critical knockouts, everybody get on the same page, back on Rayquaza, secure.
Luminosity Gaming with our first ban here. Once again, Inteleon not making it out into Thea Sky Ruins. The Leafeon, the targeted ban there from Revelation. We have the Psyduck, and then we finally have the Blissey, which does mean first pick Suicune is available if they want it, and they take it right away.
It's so incredibly strong. I am unsurprised as well. It asks a lot of questions out of Revelation here. How are you going to react to it? And immediately into the Snorlax. They do not want Slash to have that. And honestly, Pikadiff playing crazy on the Snorlax. Lumiere back to the Blaziken, because you definitely don't want that in the hands of Overlord. But it still opens up a lot of good options for LG. Armor Rouge namely, and the Hoopa quickly selected.
I mean, honestly, it looks like Luminosity is getting just about everything they want. They've kind of conceded to Pikadiff that Pikadiff will be playing the Snorlax. Sure. They would love to take it if they left it open, but that's fine. You can have the Snorlax. This Suicune could be a huge difference maker. And you'll notice if Otter is going to be the player playing this Pokemon, it has the EXP share on. So some players will play this as more of a carry, but a lot of teams are flexing Suicune into a more supportive role. You're still doing crazy damage, but more importantly, you're powering up your allies with your EXP share. You're staying in the fight with something like the Buddy Barrier and Focus Band, and at the same time, stunning, slowing, and freezing them. Final 2 picks over here to Luminosity. They want to hang out with that Serena and Trainer once again. The only Zoroark player I feel like who doesn't need a Comfey is Trainer.
Duraludon on camera here. Now, you mentioned it. Luminosity Gaming, you look at their composition, there's not a secure option in sight. They're going for the fight the whole way. On the other side, you do have Blaziken to secure, and this Duraludon pick out of Oblivion is raising some eyebrows, but I'm excited for it. Anything that throws curveballs down the pike, I'm a fan of.
Well, you know, there are a lot of Pokemon. I mean, we take a look at that 2% pick rate. We saw the same thing on the Charizard, right? Another 2%. We're going to have to find out if this Duraludon ages like 2% milk or fine wine out here, because this Pokemon can do very well, oftentimes in a solo queue environment. In a coordinated setting, you almost never see it, but this is the team that brings it out.
Well, okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Game 3 in the grand finals.
Let's go.
What do you have to lose at this point? Throw as much on the wall as you can and see what sticks. And maybe Duraludon is the piece of the puzzle that Revelation needs to take the lead in this grand final set.
One thing is for sure, you are not used to playing against it. And
Yeah,
that is actually something really great for Revelation, right? If your opponents don't know how you plan to use this, it could trip them up. But the question is, can you actually trip up LG with anything like that? I don't know, as we get ready for our next match here on Thea Sky Ruins, our battleground here in Pokemon Unite. Luminosity Gaming won, Revelation won in these best of 5. Luminosity Gaming, your purple team. Revelation, your orange team. We are in game number 3.
Game number 3, LG on the purple side here. And they've got probably my favorite Pokemon in competitive right now, Suicune.
Yeah.
It is so strong. And don't forget, it just got nerfed, and it's still taking over the game.
Yeah, it's unbelievably powerful. It got some small nerfs, and it is still doing great. A lot of teams will not let this through, and we'll see if Revelation is going to pay for that mistake. Early rotation here by the Mew, putting a lot of pressure on the top path immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Mew getting a good buff, and in that area, able to put a lot of pressure on. Quick rotation, too, because it doesn't need much. Slash Can also rotating.
Whoa.
That's one KO. Can they get Dispenser or Lunier? They're on the chase. They're split pushing here. Slash Can bang with the Astonish, and that's 3 players down in a heartbeat. And I'll tell you what, that looked real good.
I mean, they were caught in that Suicune avalanche right there, the slows. We talked about it before. Just absolutely destroyed. Trainer now running up to the top path.
Oh, they're putting the pressure on.
Stack in right here as 3 members of Revelation are trying to push them back.
They're really just setting up, you know, they're so powerful compared to what Revelation has here. They're looking for bodies. Here comes Oblivion, and we're going straight for it. Damage put in. Suicune gets a knockout on Torchic. Look at the damage, though, that Oblivion was able to put onto Luminosity Gaming, leading to a KO of Overlord, and now the pressure continues.
Take a look at this here. I mean, this Flash Cannon Duraludon actually doing some serious work in the top path, pushing back LG. They were able to pick up a KO right there, so it might be a difference maker in this match.
It certainly was in that moment, because if Oblivion did not show up, Revelation did not have enough in the tank there. It would have been an absolute crime scene with Trainer just ripping through all those bodies.
Now we have Luminosity getting ready for this fight here in the middle at 8 minutes as we're trying to give as much experience as we can over to our Blaziken on the side of Revelation. Really doesn't get online until it hits level 7, kind of level 8.
Oh, nice little poach there back. We're going to see if we can get some knockouts. The portals are down, but Trainer's advancing. Nobody goes down. Back through the portal is Curios. The pressure continues. Pikadiff is looking low on HP, but really Overlord just bought some time. KO streak of 3 off screen as Trainer was on the chase into the opponent's central area.
Triple KO, you're welcome, says Trainer, as they absolutely rip through Revelation. 109 to 11 right now. Some exciting plays from Revelation here early, but they cannot slow Luminosity down.
Right back through the portal is Overlord, not willing to give up on these knockouts, and they get one. The Flash Cannon Dura, though, putting in a little bit of work, but is it enough work? No, they say take a break, son, maybe for the next 7 minutes, because we're looking to win this one.
Here we go. Nice scores in this bottom path. Huge overdunk there. 30 into this goal zone. 184 now, 211.
Okay, this is kind of in a similar position we were last game. You know, Revelation at this point in time had scored a few more points, but it's down, not out, right?
Yeah.
Revelation was able to get themselves together and execute through the finish line. They need to do the same thing. Luminosity Gaming, on the other hand, needs to find out how they can keep that pressure up and not allow them to reset here.
Really nice portal there, able to send the Zoroark back through, get away from the damage from you. Regieleki being ripped apart by Revelation right now, but it looks like Luminosity is coming in, trying to get a secure right here. The overheat finds it.
The Celestial, great work there, of course, coming through as now Trainers just looking for bodies. They want fights. Overlord used their Unite move to isolate Pikadiff. The portal is there, but the Grassy Glide says from Overlord, I'm going towards targets. I'm not going towards resets. There's another KO. Pikadiff goes down. 4 players down. Dispenza nowhere in sight. They don't want to step up and want that action because it's a KO streak of 2 for who else but Overlord.
Yeah, massive fight for them, using these portals to head back through, get all of their healing. Hoopa can just create so many plays plays, whether it's with its Unite move that can bring the entire team to a location, or those hyperspace holes that are able to send your team back to base, to heal, or to the top and bottom path through the goal zones. Truly the best macro Pokemon in the game, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
No. Slashcan just ticked over to level 9, bringing in that Rings Unbound Unite move that you mentioned, kind of go into the Hoopa Unbound with that big ring that portals everybody through at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, and here we are, 246 to 11. I mean, if Revelation was heating up, Luminosity is shutting them down right now, putting them back in the freezer here. Lunier trying to get a KO here on Overlord, not able to slap them though.
Yeah, now they're trying to collapse 4v3 on the 3 players of LG that have left themselves exposed. Oh, great Suicune Unite might buy enough time. Otter does go down, but now Curios has to run out themselves. They pop their Unite move just to be able to get out of dodge. So in exchange there, let's give up Otter, our experienced share support player, in lieu of getting everybody else out safely.
3:24 now, 2:11 at the 5-minute mark. Luminosity absolutely taking over this game, and they still have 2 tier 2 goal zones up. Regirock being ripped apart right here. Revelation coming in, trying to make something happen. Eldegoss up into the air.
Oh.
There's the revolving ruin, but it's not enough.
Isolated again. Lunier is by Overlord. The chase is on, and that Duraludon is trying to do what it can, but when it puts that big ring, that is a ring that Luminosity wants to fight in. Celestial now goes down. Overlord on this Zarina. Last game, objectively, looked great. They didn't win, but it looked terrific. Now they got to put the pressure on. Overheat is there, Otter half HP, but Overlord easily gets out. The mobility that Zarina has is just too strong.
Yeah, Zarina just able to combo so well and dash across the map. Continuing these fights, I mean, the Zarina from Luminosity is relentless here as Trainer is setting up this Regieleki. Overlord now moving up here, and it looks like Revelation is just going to have to defend their tier 2 goal zone.
Something that we want to mention with Hoopa, because it is the Portal Hoopa and that those tier 1s are still available, they can open what we like to call the hyperspace highway and go up and down between paths very quickly. Because of that, it makes it difficult for Revelation to find value or gain experience through scoring because Luminosity can pivot so quickly. Regieleki on the doorstep, the pressure's being put on just by Overlord, as now we've got Rings Unbound in the bottom path because they're trying to break a different goal zone. Overlord decides to get pulled through. No, they're just still sitting there babysitting, and they close the goal zone out before Revelation can adjust, and that's the strength of Hoopa. Come on, dude, what is going on here?
Wow, I mean, unbelievable. 423 to 11. I think Luminosity took that loss personally, and they said, yeah, 3-1, that's all we're going to give them right here, as they are up by over 400 points, which means even if Revelation is able to win at Rayquaza, they would need 5 members to score after that fight. It could happen, but they're behind on levels, way behind on score, and it feels like they're just being dominated here in Game 3.
Look how easily they're baiting out that flash cannon from Duraludon. As soon as the Duraludon plants its feet and starts firing, they're able to get out of dodge quickly. And Otter is really the only one that is in harm's way there. Nice Whirlpool, Ice Beam, Freeze, and now all of a sudden this Regirock's back on the table for both squads.
Yeah, and here we go. Overlord moving in right there with the Unite move at 230. The Suicune with the Skirt.
Wow.
Duraludon with the big time Unite, and look at LG just moving through the entire squad of Revelation before Ray. All of them KO'd.
The good news is for Revelation, they'll all be back in time for Ray. The bad news is you're looking at absolute monsters on the other. This is like Space Jam Monstars before like Bill Murray came in and saved the day, right? He was the hero of that movie, Bill Murray.
I believe he was. Yeah, Michael Jordan was a side character.
Nah, he was a main character. Main character energy, at least. Here we go. We got ourselves a Ray fight here. Pikachu with a decent engage. Great follow-up surf combination. And now Curios is in an absolute blender. Are they going to be able to go down? Meanwhile, Duraludon gets KO'd by Slashcan. Curios low on HP. Somehow makes it out despite being isolated target. Dispenza's gone. Lunier's on the chopping block. Tons of HP for Pikachu, but that's shrinking quickly. And now it's just the Blaziken that stands. And they are wondering what the heck is going on. But Revelation does have that overheating pocket. What is Otter going to do to sustain that? And they're seeing the option that Revelation has to get out of this one, and they're shutting that door quickly. Rayquaza belongs to Luminosity, and you know what time it is? Burger time.
Absolute dominant performance. Before they even score with their Ray Shields, we're at 599 points to 11. One of the most brutal matches I have seen in a Grand Finals. I really do think that last game was taken personally by LG, and they just had something to prove here in Game 3.
Well, you know, credit to LG supporting their teammate Otter and his prediction that he made. They're like, you know what, 3-1, you said it. We wanted you to say 3-0, but you said 3-1. We don't want you to be embarrassed on this big stage, so we'll give up a game, and then we'll just rally back from there.
You know, Luminosity is one of these teams that I feel like can beat even a top team in such in such an impressive way, picking up more KOs here. We're at 1,085 to 11. 1,157 points. This might be the most ever. 1,231 points in a Grand Finals. I don't know if I've ever seen something like this. Stats team, get on it and find out. They're looking for another KO, seeing if they can put some more points into this goal zone. Absolutely unbelievable performance in Game 3.
That was tough. That was tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had some fun watching.
I mean, it was fun to watch, but like it was tough to watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, ooh.
Yeah, it was. That was tough. I can't imagine what it was like to play. But you know what? If I ran into Luminosity, I think it'd be a little like that. A lot like that,
brother.
I think it might be a little worse for us.
With Zoinks, so where do we go from here? And Luminosity Gaming says, yeah, we know how strong it is. We're in a band suite. Are we crazy?
Yeah.
I let you pick that first.
I can't believe you let us have that in game number 3 there. Now, if Luminosity Gaming's prediction is correct, they will be ending this series here in a 3-1 over Revelation. First pick over to Revelation. I'm curious to see exactly what they want to do. We could have a side deck, but no, they're going to steal away the Leafeon, play it themselves. I like this.
This is 2 great picks for Luminosity, though.
Absolutely.
I really wanted to see Overlord on Zarina again, just because personally I would have enjoyed that, but Blaziken is very difficult to pass up.
I mean, Overlord on Blaziken is amazing. And then, of course, Psyduck is one of those Pokemon that you kind of can't believe you're even getting in a draft.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is that good. Mamoswine for Pikachu, so switching it up a bit.
Okay.
Now, talk to me about this sword, because Aegislash from Lumiere yesterday was unbelievable.
There's the secure king, without a doubt. I mean, those coup de grace through Rayquaza every single time, well-timed. Revelation was playing very well, specifically to facilitate that, to give him the opportunity to win then games, and to his credit, delivered over and over and over again. We saw it multiple times against the Juicers. We've seen it kind of all throughout their tournament run, so I'm not surprised here with their back against the wall that they choose the sword and put it on Lumiere's back.
I mean,
let's go, baby!
We've got the
Goblin
little gentleman. Sableye is out here for Revelation. You absolutely love to see it. One of the most disruptive Pokemon, a completely unique play style, able to disappear from the map, find opportunities to score and disrupt the enemy team. I'm so excited to see Revelation bring it out here. And we were just talking about this Aegislash. You're right. The secure, unbelievable on that Unite move, coup de grace. If you are able to land it, it's a narrow path. You know, you really got to thread that needle, but if you do, incredible secure. And Trainer picking up the Mimikyu, probably the only player that I think is legally allowed to play Mimikyu. Everyone else needs to go to prison for 3 months if they play Mimikyu, but not Trainer.
Yeah.
We call that
if you play Mimikyu and you're not Trainer, prison. If you're Zoinks and you play Inteleon, prison.
I can't wait to see what he does with this. He is
hopefully win, right? That's what he's looking to do.
That's what he's looking to do. He is one of those unique players, because I do feel like this Pokemon is in a precarious spot. It's one of those solo queue, take over the game Pokemon, but coordinated teams find lots of ways to shut it down. We're going to see if they can do that. A few other picks here. Slash now finally getting to play with that Snorlax, the Pokemon he's known for. I mean, you can see him holding it in the picture right there. And then Kyrios on the Mewtwo-Y. Kyrios is one of those players that is solid on every single Pokemon you put in front of him.
Yeah, really, they just say, okay, Kyrios, we need this from you this game. It kind of becomes a checkbox. All right, I'll do that, while the rest of the team develops their strategy kind of around Overlord and Trainer.
Yeah, here we go. Thea Sky Ruins, your battlefield here for game number 4. LG obviously looking to shut this thing down right now. They predicted a 3-1 victory. We're going to see if they can make it happen. And again, if they do, they will have assembled that trophy infinity gauntlet of every single IC in a single season. Well, here we are. Revelation, your purple team. Luminosity Gaming, your orange team in game number 4. Luminosity Gaming up 1 game. Revelation needs this to stay in this tournament and tie it up.
Going into the top path is the little gentleman with this Han edge here. They're going to want to get Lumiere online as quickly as possible. Dispenza not going for the invade, just trying to facilitate some good opportunities for the sword, and will be trying to do that for the whole team all game long.
Yeah, nice secure there from Luminosity, but you did see the thief there on Dispenza, so they were able to take all of the Eos energy from Luminosity, which means they can't make a play to send Overlord to that goal zone and score right in front of their face. Trying to take some more of that energy, but Dispenza in a lot of trouble right now. Overlord looking for the KO, and they get it with the eject button.
That's a good use of that. Just get good experience. They're holding 11 Eos energy, so they can't quite get their stacks in yet, but a quality knockout there really helps them along, and you can see Trainer just hanging out, ready to see which body he's going to catch next.
Yeah, it looks like Trainer taking this blue buff right here, so I have to assume that the other buff was handed over to the Mewtwo Y. And no, Mewtwo Y heading up to the top. It looks like it was stolen by Leafeon.
Over-pressurization here by both teams. 4v4 over the Swablu and Altaria. The pressure's on. Torchic gets a knockout on the Sableye. Dispenza goes down, and they're looking for more. No, they're content with one peel back, as now poor Overlord, despite having a couple knockouts, is still trying to reach level 5.
Yeah, they really want to evolve here, looking for it right now, and they do in the face of Revelation. Sableye is back, but it could be going down just as fast. Nice big knockoff combo, trying to get a KO, and they don't, and Overlord somehow makes it out.
Come on, the Duck and the Mewtwo working in tandem. The Psychic types read into the future and said, not Overlord going down today.
Ooh, Overlord in some trouble right here. Leafeon moving up. He could look for a KO, but not able to dive deep enough to take Overlord down.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of see dragging the Bunnelby onto the pad where they're a little bit more safe. Good fear on that boosted auto there by Dispenza, but now they're in the deep waters here,
yeah.
Quite literally with that Otter Surf.
I mean, Dispenza just sending a lot of experience over to the side of Luminosity Gaming, but if any Pokemon is going to go down, you want it to either be your defender or supporter with EXP. Share the lowest EXP Pokemon on your team, and you can see how much pressure they are putting on with Sableye. They are not afraid to brawl over and over again, and if you catch them with that massive boosted into knockoff combo in a big fight, you might not even be able to move before your Pokemon is KO'd.
Quick fun fact, last game was the most lopsided victory in Grand Finals history here in the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. Now, we'll see if Revelation can right the ship here with the team they've put together. Good pressure by Dispenza trying to fear away Luminosity so they can't step off pad and keep them from getting all the experience they want.
Pushing forward right here, we can see Slash trying to stop them, but nice play here from Revelation, you know, taking the opportunity. They recognize that they lost in the top path a bit, but look at them now, 83-71, and they're going for this Regice.
While the Regice is going on, look at Trainer putting pressure on Lumiere, that Doublade. They have not let Aegislash evolve. They keep putting the pressure on, and that's clearly part of the strategy. Look at the commitment they have to making sure that this sword is kept down to a low enough level that they can contend with it. And now Lumiere in a lot of trouble because, like I said, the priority from LG is there. We've got a Trick Room Mimikyu here, slashing up Pikadiff, pinned against the wall with the Snorlax block as the rest of the team is scoring in the face of Oblivion.
You can see Overlord in the top path putting points into this tier 2 goal zone. Slash as well. 142-118 for the first time in forever. Luminosity Gaming actually behind in a match. They are going for this Regieleki. While they are behind on points, they're looking amazing level-wise. That's a level 10 Mimikyu and Blazing.
Leafeon keeping pace, though, which is something Revelation definitely needs. They at least need one character that's going to be able to step up. Leafeon particularly good at that.
Dispenza now hitting the Confuse Ray on Overlord, sending him over to the Mimikyu to do a little damage right here, as Revelation is going to need to try to defend against 5 members of LG.
The block isolation attempt was fruitless, but the Mimikyu Unite rings true, as now all of a sudden Trainer's in a lot of trouble. Oblivion gets the knockout, Regieleki's on the doorstep, and they're putting the pressure on. Mew's on the chase, they want the Otter knockout, and they're coming through here. No, the Psychic pins them back, and now the Mega Mewtwo puts the pressure on and creates the space they need. Right back into the action is Lumiere. Curios tries to get out, but they can't. Oblivion getting another one.
Big time boosted attack there from the Mew, right? I mean, it does so much damage, even more damage the further away you are on Mew, and you charge it up just by using your moves and hitting your opponents. Really difficult to deal with, and you saw how much coordination Revelation had in that push in the top path. They are in this game. It is
100%.
very close. 142, 118. We have a Reggie spawning here in the bottom path in 5 seconds, and it actually looks like Luminosity is going to leave it and instead score in the tier 2 goal zone.
Yeah, they're going through the scoring route. Look at that. They're leaving everything up to Slashcan downstairs. And how is Revelation going to adjust? Oblivion does land on pad, puts pressure on with the Solar Beam. The Surf is there to create space. Trainer going straight into the back line. The cover there by Celestial using the Emerald two-step is enough to get a knockout and bully all of LG out of there.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Revelation now securing the Reggie Rock. It is unbelievable that this is the same Revelation from just a game ago where they were getting absolutely demolished by LG. Not only are they in this thing, they are winning it here in Game 4.
Yeah, I mean, and now that experience lead that LG had is gone, and a Revelation is turning the tides back in their favor with another KO streak of 2. I mean, Celestial on this Leafeon is something to be feared because right now they're taking over the game. Ice Fang reposition, easy knockout on Curios. Slashcan sitting on pad, but the push is coming. Revelation looking for that action. They're trying to make this a difference maker. Overheat is there, gets a couple down, and now all of a sudden LG's swinging the pendulum back the other way.
Yeah, LG pushing them back from this goal zone. Obviously, Revelation took a good fight right there, but they overcommitted. LG able to pick up a few KOs, take this Regieleki. This is going to open some really good scoring opportunities for them to either put them at parity or actually above Revelation. Revelation is going to need to split their attention between this tier 1 goal zone and the tier 2 goal zone that Regieleki is pushing towards. We should see LG swing this forward unless Revelation can defend.
Oh, Pika-Div out of the bushes, Earthquakes onto the pad, looks for an Ice Fang reposition, can't quite get Otter, but there goes Trainer immediately. Back to back there for Oblivion with this Mew here, and all of LG again sent scrambling by great counter pressure by Rev.
Wow, I mean, Revelation able to stop that. They had the Aegislash having to babysit the Regieleki in the top path. It didn't matter. Beautiful defense from them. 1 minute until Rayquaza. Again, they are winning this match right now. Up above LG for the first time in this series. Nice play here from Dispenza, but you could see the teleport there from Mewtwo able to stop that from going in. Incredibly close match. You have to wonder how LG wants to play this. Knowing that there is a bottom Reggie that will give Revelation a huge buff, they also have to recognize that being behind on the scoreboard is a terrible position for them for Ray, and this could turn into the Rayquaza fight.
Slashcan immediately goes down. You can't make this Rayquaza fight now if you're LG. You got to get out of there. Quality knockout, though, back the other way. Leafeon will be back in time.
Yeah, Leafeon will be back in time, but Regirock going down here to Luminosity Gaming, really turning this moment around. Big play for them. Those defenses are going to help them immensely, especially for Otter, right? If Psyduck wasn't already difficult to deal with, now they have to deal with it with a massive special defense and defense buff. 2 minutes on the clock, could be the last Rayquaza of our tournament. LG behind. Revelation in the commanding position right here. They don't need to be the ones to make the big play. Just trying to get some information, find out exactly where members of LG are, hitting the Confuse Ray on Trainer, and we now get to see however LG wants to play this fight.
Okay, look at that. Slash sussing out where Pika-Div is, goes for the Heavy Slam, creates separation. Pika-Div going for an engage. We've got the backdoor Emerald two-step chase. Celestial gets eaten up by the Mimikyu Unite. We're going for it now. Mewtwo Unite comes out as well. Pika-Div springs over the top here, but the pressure continues. Coup de grace is not going to knock out, but Trainer does go down. Let's see how these exchanges continue. Dispenza in the back line. They're trying to make a difference. 2 players down now for Revelation. Luminosity Gaming's on the chase, and Luniere goes down as well. It's just Pika-Div with almost everybody on LG pivoting to the middle. They have the best secure tool on the field right now, in the fact that Overlord still has Overheat. Pika-Div looking for an opportunity to get in. Rayquaza's getting shrunk down real low. It's on the back of Overlord, the best player in the game. The Overheat is there. The Overheat secures. Luminosity Gaming is going to go scramble to score. They've got a ton of shields. You talk about your book of Revelations. Well, the book of Luminosity Gaming says, we just whooped your...
I think they cut you off, Doomstacks. 142, 398 with 35 seconds left. It doesn't look like there is anything Revelation can do. The prophecy from Luminosity, a 3-1 victory as LG wins LAIC. LG wins EUIC. LG wins NAIC. They have assembled the Infinity Gauntlet of trophies here as they take their pose in the center of Thea Sky Ruins. One of the best to ever do it, Luminosity Gaming!